Alright guys, so Cardi B just sat down for an interview with Kelly Rowland on Spotify, and let me tell you, she spilled some serious tea. Now, I'm over here trying to figure out exactly who she's hinting at. Basically, Cardi was talking about how she makes an effort to support the new female rappers coming up in the game. She'll slide into their DMs, especially when they're facing backlash or going through rough times, and just offer some encouragement. Honestly, that's super wholesome and shows a really supportive side of her. But then, things got a little messy. She mentioned that some of the same girls she tried to lift up ended up getting involved with Offset. Yep, she said it just like that. Take a look at what she had to say.
Coming up with some shit, and I feel like they kind of cool, and I feel like people be dragging them. I be sliding in their DMs like, it's like, hey, you know, this temporary, this is a good and bad thing, but sometimes you gotta know who to do it with, because I have done that to bitches that done went and fuck my man and all that shit. So it's like, you gotta know who you being nice to, because it's like these bitches right here, you out there feeling sympathy for them and wishing them the best, and these bitches will beat you and fuck you, they gotta do this, that you ain't even realize them bitches. You are here like, damn, she look like a nice girl. I feel bad for her. Like, it's like, let me think that, bitch, you start being straight.
At this point, honestly, who hasn't Offset been involved with? This man seems to have a serious problem. It's like he somehow slept with half the women in the industry, all while being married to Cardi. Now, Cardi didn't drop any names, but of course, the internet is already buzzing, trying to figure out exactly who she's talking about. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious too. I'm not here to speculate, because I don't actually know. But it definitely makes you stop and wonder, who is it? And honestly, situations like this really show how messy the music world can be. These artists are supposed to support one another, especially the women in the industry. But then stuff like this happens, and it just makes you ask, can you really trust anyone? So yeah, I totally get why Cardi said, look, I'm not helping any of y'all females no more because y'all went and stabbed me in the back. It's understandable. But now I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think she's talking about? I've got a few guesses, but they're just guesses. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's see what you think. While we're talking about Cardi B, let's switch gears to her music. Her new album is supposed to drop this Friday, and fans have been hyped for months. Cardi's been working on this project, AmITheDrama, for years now. For some context, her last album, Invasion of Privacy, came out way back in 2018. Now, this new one, AmITheDrama, is officially set to release on Friday, September 19th. Over the past few months, there have been all kinds of stories about why the album kept getting delayed. Earlier this year, Cardi even went on Instagram Live, venting about waiting on other artists for features. She made it clear she loves collaborating, but she also wanted them to hurry up. Fast forward to yesterday, Cardi hopped on Twitter Spaces and shared some new insights. Apparently, a lot of artists didn't take her album seriously. They underestimated the impact it would have and thought it wouldn't be a big deal. Because of that, some of them even backed out of working on it.
Say everything, because I don't know what the fuck. This album, just like a lot of people that don't like me underestimating this album, a lot of these artists are also underestimated this album too. I have gotten into calls. I have gotten out of my body because, you know, I'm very shy. I have hit people up. I have this and that. And people underestimating the impact, well, a lot of people have changed their mind these past couple of weeks. If people underestimated the impact and everything, I can't do nothing about it. One thing I don't do is I'm not gonna beg nobody. So for y'all to be like complaining and like, these are a lot of these artists that have gotten in it on this album, I'm very thankful. I'm very grateful, because you'll be very fucking surprised.
So, let's talk about the artists who are actually going to be featured on Cardi B's new album. We're looking at names like Cash Cobain, Janet Jackson, Connie, Lizzo, Megan Thee Stallion, Selena Gomez, Summer Walker, and Tala. And honestly, it sounds like Cardi really had to dig to get some of these features lined up. Her album, AmITheDrama, is packed with 23 tracks. Yup, tracks like Ari and Up are also included, which, yeah, stirred up some opinions online, but Cardi clearly wasn't worried about what anyone thought. What I'm really curious about, though, is which artist she originally wanted to feature but couldn't get on board. That part's a mystery, and it makes you wonder. Don't get me wrong, the features we do have are strong. These are incredible artists. But it's not exactly the superstar-level lineup you might expect from a Cardi B album. You feel me? It's solid, but maybe not quite the dream team she had envisioned. Still, sometimes you just have to make the best with what you've got. Now let's talk about expectations. Do I think this album will flop? Honestly, no. But will it reach the same heights as her first album? Probably not. Usually, a debut album sets the biggest impact, and Cardi's first album, Invasion of Privacy, went above and beyond. She even had records that went diamond. That album set an insanely high bar. So will AmITheDrama do well? Absolutely, it's going to perform strongly. But will it break the same records her first album did? I'm not so sure. That's just my take, but I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Will this new album live up to the hype, or will it fall short compared to her debut? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I'm really curious to see what y'all think. All right, moving on to our next story. Okay, y'all, let me break down what went down this past weekend because people are seriously losing their minds over this. So, Beyoncé and JayZ attended JayZ's charity event, the Reform Alliance Casino Night and Gala, which took place in Atlantic City. JayZ was one of the hosts, and I have to say they really did an amazing job. The event raised a whopping $20 million for criminal justice reform, but surprisingly, that's not what everyone is talking about. What got the internet buzzing, and honestly, kind of twisted up, was who was sitting at the table with Beyoncé and JayZ. Yep, it was Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner. And yes, I'm talking about Trump's daughter and her sharp-looking husband. Just imagine this. Beyoncé in a stunning bronze dress, smiling across the table at Ivanka. That picture hit social media, and people just went off. Totally went crazy. Now let's be real. Beyoncé was out here last year campaigning hard for Kamala Harris. Remember that rally in Houston? She got on stage, spoke passionately, and made it clear she was Team Democrat. So when fans see her now sitting all friendly with the Trump family, it definitely raises eyebrows. Some people argued they weren't even sitting together, but if you look at the photo closely, it's obvious they were. And here's the kicker that makes the whole situation even messier. In the same picture, you can see Desiree Perez. If you don't know, she's the CEO of JayZ's Roc Nation. But remember back in 2021 when Trump pardoned her? For some context, Desiree was arrested way back in 1994 on drug charges. She cooperated with the feds, got probation, but then messed up her parole and ended up serving 9 months in prison in 1999. All right, fast forward to Trump's last days in office. He decided to pardon Desiree Perez. Now, I'm not saying this has anything to do with what went down at the gala, but seeing her sitting so close to Jared Kushner definitely gives off a vibe of support. Naturally, people have started connecting the dots, wondering if there's some behind-the-scenes stuff happening. And honestly, the whole situation just doesn't look great. You've got Beyoncé, someone who's been a symbol of Black excellence and a longtime supporter of the Democratic Party, sitting there looking all cozy with the Trump family. Meanwhile, Trump beat the same Kamala Harris that Beyoncé had been publicly supporting. The timing couldn't be worse, because emotions about that election are still running high. Fans are now seeing their favorite celebrities smiling and chatting with people they feel were on the opposite side, and it's stirring up a lot of reactions. Now, let's be real. Just sitting at the same table at a charity event doesn't mean you're best friends with someone. But photos can look a certain way, and when it's JayZ's event, they probably could have chosen where to sit. Still, it leaves people wondering. So here's the big question. Was Beyoncé just being polite and making the best of the seating arrangement, or is there something more going on? Could there be some kind of connection tied to Desiree Perez being pardoned by Trump in 2021? Maybe there's loyalty between JayZ and Desiree Perez when it comes to Trump and his family. And by extension, Beyoncé, since she's married to JayZ, I want to hear what y'all think about this messy situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are these just coincidences, or is there more to the story?
I think this whole thing with Beyoncé and Ivanka Trump is reaching because people don't understand that people in those positions tend to go to the same events. They're going to be seated together, whether they agree. It's not like these events have tables with just Republicans, just Democrats, and they all just sit together. That's not how these things work. Also, you got to understand that, yes, Beyoncé is our queen, and we believe that she can do what she can. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to do. But at the same time, her being Beyonce, her being an artist is a job. She goes to events. She has obligations to do. You know, she's constantly making money. It's just no different in the real world where you work with people that you may not necessarily agree with all of their ideologies and, you know, what have you. I'm pretty sure you would be surprised, as some of y'all are seeing with everything that's been happening right now, of working with people And coming to find out the truth coming to light that you're working with people who don't share any of the ideologies of you of that you have. And then what ends up happening is, unfortunately, a lot of times those people are in positions of power, or your bosses, your managers, and now we're finding that people are being, you know, wrongfully, but being terminated from their jobs because of their ideologies, beliefs, whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing in that world. And don't get me wrong, the rich is going to stick with the rich to a certain degree. I mean, she don't really have to necessarily be the bad person in a situation, because at the end of the day, these people all rub elbows with each other, all of them. Are a lot of them in cahoots with each other? You bet damn Skippy they are.
Straight. You cancel artists rightfully for performing at Trump's inauguration, but when they're sitting with his daughter at a charity event, there's a bunch of excuses for it. Like, here's the thing. There's an option to not show how morally bankrupt you are. Like, what gets me is the people commenting willingly say that there's an excuse for, again, sitting with the daughter of someone you have called various names. You know? So, it kind of, either you have to admit that they're not as perfect or as in control of their career as they say, which a lot of people do not want to admit, or you gotta admit that is a pretty fucked up thing to do. And since when does conforming to respectability politics align with Beyoncé? Isn't that like part of the reason, you know, I know maybe various people have thought that she conforms to it, but isn't that kind of one of the cool things about her, how, you know, white society, you know, like in country music didn't accept her, so she went on to make an entire album that's very good. But
astonishing to see how many of you guys actually do not have a backbone. And yes, I'm talking to you, the person who cannot let go of their parasocial relationship with these celebrities. Beyoncé was seen sitting at a table with Ivanka Trump and the Kushners, right? And you still have the Beehive, or people just trying to make sense of why is she at the table? Why is she like interacting with these people? Why is she like Beyoncé the billionaire? I love Beyoncé down, but guys, these are still capitalists. They are billionaires. This is the same Beyoncé who knows how many people are economically struggling and is releasing sacred after tour after everything. Beehive and Taylor Swift fans are the exact same, because y'all are mooching up to the butts of these celebrities who do not give one single fuck about you. Not to mention that they have zero backbone themselves. They don't speak up to anything. Beyonce has so much money. JayZ has so much money. All these people have so much money, yet they don't use it in ways that could actually benefit society. And this is one of the reasons why I struggle to even be friends with most people, because y'all just don't have anything. You don't stand for anything. You don't stand for anything, so you fall for everything. Why are you trying to rationalize why Beyonce is sitting with these people? She is one of them. It is not like race against race. It's literally money against poor. Like that's what it is. Obviously, there are races on top of it, but money can save you from a lot of things, especially when you are a billionaire. You are no longer part of the oppressed class. I'm sorry, you're not. Like, in theory, yes, you are. But Beyonce does not, like, you guys, we have to do better. But honestly, I've lost all hope. I think that there is no waking up from this nightmare.
All right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Between Cardi B spilling tea about who's really loyal in the rap game, her new album dropping soon, and Beyoncé sitting cozy with the Trump family at JayZ's Gala, we've got a lot to unpack. One thing's for sure, the music industry and celebrity world are messy, complicated, and full of surprises. Now, I want to hear from you. Who do you think Cardi was talking about? And what do you make of Beyoncé's table situation? Is it just business, or is there more going on behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know y'all have some opinions. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this tea, subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned because we've got more drama, music updates, and celebrity stories coming your way. Trust me, you do not want to miss what's next.